Las Cruces, and welcome to another edition of the Business Networking Channel. I'm your host, Gabriel Vasquez, Executive Director at the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to thank all our listeners and viewers out there for joining us today. We have a great show ahead. We have our guest, Mellow Honek with Sunspot Solar Energy Systems. And we also have co-host Santiago Soto III, and he's the Vice President of the Hispano Chamber. Very happy to have these folks on board. Before we get started today, folks, first I'd like to thank our membership for coming out and making our Mix and Mingle and New Member Bienvenido a great success. We had a great turnout last Thursday, thanks to our gracious host and Hispano Chamber member, Morrison Supply Showroom. And if you don't already know, you can get the latest kitchen, HVAC, and bathroom model appliances, fixtures, and packages at Morrison Supply. Now, we'd also like to congratulate the Southern New Mexico Transplant Support Group for putting on a great health expo and car show this last Saturday at Young Park. Funds went to a good cause, and we're very proud to be a part of that. Now, you can check out photos from both of these events on our blog by clicking on the news link at thehispanochamber.com. Coming up on the calendar, folks, we got some exciting events. You don't want to miss our Small Business Lending Fair, which takes place from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Friday, August 5th at the Las Cruces Convention Center, which is at 680 East University Avenue. We'll have all the local resources there for folks to tap into to grow their business and find the capital that they need. So if you want some more information about that event, you can log on to thehispanochamber.com, or you can call us at 532-9255. Also coming up is the Hispano Chamber Annual Golf Tournament, which is on September 16th, also Friday. We're going to do something really cool this year, celebrating our Hispanic heritage. As many of you know, September 16th is Mexican Independence Day, so what a great way to celebrate than by to kick it off with a golf tournament and after party, and some great events lined up for that as well. Also, you don't want to miss Salsa Fest, the Centennial Salsa Fest, which takes place Sunday, August 28th in downtown Las Cruces. And that's organized by the Downtown Las Cruces Partnership. And if you're a fan of salsa, we really need you out there, because there's going to be about 40 or 50 salsa vendors ready to display and offer some of their goods. So with that, we'll start the show off. Santiago, thanks for making it again. Our regular host couldn't be here today, which is Toby Rue and John Munoz, but we got it taken care of, right?
Yes, no problem, no problem. And you know, taking up real quick on this, I just wanted to say one real quick thing is, Viva la Salsa.
That's
for
right.
the Salsa Fest, because we're going to have some good salsa people there. And one more thing on the annual golf tournament, one thing that we normally don't do, and that's the sampling of cerveza mexicana.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
you know, we want you all to come out and sample all the different kinds of Mexican beers that you can get. And I don't know whether it's a good idea to have it right before the golf tournament, but that's when it's going to take place.
It'll happen. So
yeah, and thank you too for coming out, Mello. We're all very, very interested in listening to what you have to say about solar, specifically because we have a lot of solar in Las Cruces.
Boy, we do.
And this is a good place that we should utilize all that sun and save energy. If we want to stay green, and if we want to really, really stay serious with that, that's what we're going to have to start doing.
You're absolutely right.
So Mello, maybe you could start by telling us a little bit about your company, Sunspot Solar Energy Systems, what you do. I think everybody in Las Cruces that has a TV set or a radio has heard about you, or a newspaper. So definitely some good job on getting out there. But you're also growing very rapidly. So tell us a little bit about your company and what you do at Sunspot.
Well, we have worked hard to get our name out there, and what we do very simple. We take sunlight. We install systems that take sunlight and convert it into electricity.
Okay.
But what does that mean? I mean, how does that help anybody? Well, the way that helps people, homeowners, is that we can make their electric meters spin backwards.
Okay.
We can wind up putting them in a position where instead of an electric bill each month, they get a check from the electric company.
I've had dreams about that.
So
That would be wonderful.
You know, it changes the whole tone of the statement. Honey, has the electric bill arrived?
That's
yet?
right.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Where is it now?
Yes.
You say, right, where's the bill?
I've been waiting all. So it really changes that. And then for commercial applications, you know, commercial buildings use enormous amounts of electricity. And oftentimes for many companies, it's one of their significant costs. We put together systems that dramatically reduce the electric bills for commercial buildings, for commercial operations, and we can even bring those down to zero as well. And potentially, it's even possible to get maybe get a check back. But we can essentially take a company and change a major cost structure for them, so that now, good times, bad times, whatever times, they have a cost. They've eliminated a cost or reduced a cost that their competitors maybe have not. Right.
That makes
sense.
sense.
Can make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Because if that lets you take even sometimes a few cents off of a product that you sell millions of, that can make all the difference in the world out in the marketplace. So whether you're a homeowner and you're just trying to get rid of your electric bill, or you're trying to reduce your electric bill, that's very easy. If you're a building, you own a building, you own a business, you can do the same thing for your business.
Now tell me a little bit about how the net metering system works as far as the installations on the residential aspect.
Okay. We have a slide for that, and that might be up now. And
Yes.
If you look at the top of the slide, what you'll see is that if we take a house that's, say, using 600 kilowatt hours in a normal month, right? To the right of the slide, on the right side of the slide, you see the photovoltaic solar system, and maybe that system is generating about 300 kilowatt hours a month. So that means that you're going to buy from El Paso Electric 300 kilowatt hours rather than the normal 6. So ordinarily you'd bought all your electricity from El Paso Electric. Now you're only buying half. Right?
Excellent.
You've cut just from that, you've cut your electric bill in half. Okay. Now the real interesting part, though, comes in at the bottom of the screen. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see these certificates down there, and those certificates just represent your system's generating of electricity. Here's the cool part. El Paso Electric will buy those certificates. They will buy the representation of generating electricity. In other words, they're not even buying the actual electricity. They're just effectively buying the fact that you've made it. They buy those certificates.
And the fact that you cut 300 kilowatt hours, so you don't need them, so they're just going to buy those certificates.
They're going to buy them.
You save them 300 hours too.
Well, actually, that's a good point. But the main reason they're buying them is that El Paso Electric is required by the state of New Mexico to generate a certain amount of their electricity from renewable source. Well, when you put in your solar energy system, you become the renewable source.
Okay.
So the way that El Paso Electric can present and show to the state of New Mexico that they're doing what they were supposed to do is they show them those certificates.
And so this is part of the state mandate to have a renewable energy standards.
That's exactly
before, what is it, 2012 or no, 20?
Well, it's progressive. Right now
progressive?
it's 2012 and then again in 2015, 2020. Yeah.
So El Paso Electric is under a lot of pressure to get this done. So they're happy to see this type of thing.
They need to get these certificates, yes.
Yes.
They absolutely do. And so here's what happens. If you look at this slide, you'll see that the system, just for making electricity, cuts your electric bill in half, right? Because we're still only making half your electricity.
That's right.
Then you take those certificates and you sell those to El Paso Electric, and that takes care of the other half of your bill. So you're only making half your electricity, but you've eliminated your bill.
Full bill.
Now, how is this made possible? Are there certain incentives or tax breaks in place at the state and federal level, and what role do those play in the availability of solar systems now?
Well, they're very important. I mean, first we have this program we just talked about, this program we saw the slide on. Then you layer in on top of that a 10% dollar-for-dollar tax credit from the state of New Mexico, right? So that's not a deduction, that's a tax credit.
You get to write that off.
Better than writing it off. You actually, when you go to write your check to pay taxes, if you owe them $2,000, if you owe the state of New Mexico $2,000, and you have a $1,000 tax credit, now you only write a check for $1,000. So it's worth $1,000.
That's great.
Dollar for dollar when it comes to paying your taxes. The federal government gives you a 30% tax credit.
Ah, okay.
Now, as far as paying back your photovoltaic system.
Yes.
Typically, about how long does that take for an average residential area or a residential home here?
This is the beautiful part.
Say a 3-bedroom home.
It doesn't matter. A 3-bedroom home, a 5-bedroom home, a 2-bedroom home, they all pay back in the same time frame. If you look at this graph, what you'll see on the left-hand side is your initial investment after your tax credits. And then you can see each progressive year how that investment has, or the cost of your investment has shrunk because that money has come back to you in the form of no electric bill.
That's right.
Till you get to about 7 years. So from when you bought your system, 7 years later, all the money is returned to you. Okay, it's back in your bank account, and you still own the system, right? It's still up on the roof. It's still making electricity, and it's going to for probably the rest of your life. So if you pass that crossover, that 7-year point on that graph, you'll see that now that's just money being deposited into your bank account, right?
That's
on an
excellent.
annual basis. So there's not a lot of investments out there.
And what if
turn
you,
around like
what if you have a rather large electric bill, or you have a lot of electronics, or you have different things that you like to run a compressor or something like that in your garage every weekend?
Arc welders.
Yeah, there you go.
That takes up a lot of energy.
It does. Pools take up a lot of energy. Spas take up a lot of energy. There's a number of things, but the big energy consumer here in New Mexico every summer is that air conditioner.
That's right. That's right.
That air conditioner really takes a lot of money out of a bank account.
Yeah.
Well, a couple things. Actually, I want to just finish one last point on that graphic.
Sure.
And that is, what a lot of people don't realize is that 7 years, right? You put the money in today, in 7 years, it's all back. Even if you don't put a PV solar system on your roof, you're still going to spend the same amount of money over the next 7 years.
That's right.
It's just that you're going to send it to the tax man, and you're going to send it to the utility. You can take that same money you're going to spend anyway, buy a machine that you put on your roof, and all it does is generate electricity for probably the rest of your life. So it's really, pretty much an amazing deal when you look at it that way.
Sure.
Well, definitely. Mellow, how many homes in Las Cruces have solar PV systems currently?
Well, that's a great question. When we started the company, there were about 30 homes in all of El Paso electric operating area that have solar. Now there's probably just under 400 homes.
Oh, wow.
And we have 200 of them.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
So we've been very busy.
Yes.
Great.
When people see these numbers, they get pretty excited, because what's happening is there's this myth walking around, floating around in the heads of folks here in Las Cruces that, oh gosh, it's horribly expensive and it takes a lifetime to pay off. Well, now you have something that isn't horribly expensive. It's actually quite affordable. In fact, you can start small and even grow the system over time if you want to, and it'll pay off in about 7 years.
Fantastic.
So
That's amazing.
That is amazing. That is amazing. That's really, just to know that we're at a point now, because I do remember back just a short, well, maybe not a short, but let's say a little bit before your time, about 20 years ago. You said solar panel, solar electric, and then I'd say, oh no, we haven't even finished developing them yet. For homes, they used to put the little ones there to operate the lights outside, and that type of thing. But look at that, a short 20 years, really, and look where we're at now. We got photovoltaic panels that are as big as 4x8s that you put on your roof.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Santiago, because I believe Sunspot uses products that are from New Mexico. Is that right?
we are dedicated to products and services here in New Mexico. We even buy nuts and bolts from local suppliers. And the solar panels, virtually every solar panel on every roof that we've installed one is a solar panel made with New Mexico workers' hands right here in New Mexico.
Well, Mello, we'll get right back to that, and we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back in the Business Networking channel with our guest today, Mellow Honek with Sunspot Solar Energy Systems.
Viva la salsa!
Viva la salsa.